Siguro po marami sa inyo ang taga-subaybay sa mga balita sa show business, and we know that what regularly fills the headline of celebrity news are famous couples announcing their separation. Mga sikat at talagang sinusundan ng mga tao ng mga love team, and then hindi sila nagkakatuluyan, o may iba na nag-aasawa pa pero pagkatapos ng ilang taon lang ay ang balita'y hiwalay na. And therefore, it creates a widespread skepticism against the marital institution. Talaga bang mapagkakatiwalaan pa rin yung institusyon ng pag-aasawa? May mga nagsasabi, if those sweet couple that we regularly hear about in the news did not make it, siguro kami rin, kung mag-aasawa kami, na hindi rin kami magkakatuluyan o kaya hindi rin kami magtatagal. O kaya naman yung iba nagsasabi, yung mga pangako siguro, it's really made to be broken. Vows are made to be broken. Yung pangako talagang sadyang napapako, sabi nga nila. I think this is unfortunate because I don't believe that those headlines represent the best of what marriage truly is. Hindi ito yung mga pinakamagandang halimbawa kung ano ba talaga yung pag-aasawa ayon sa disenyo ng Panginoon. You see, I serve in a church and I believe that sila Lawrence din at Jackie sa kanilang mga pinaglilingkurang simbahan, I serve in a church that gives a different picture, and it is a picture that says marriage is beautiful. So you would worship on a Sunday and you would see aged couples around, and they are still happy, and they are still sweet. And I think instead of looking at the celebrity headlines, mas magandang tignan yon para mapanumbalik yung ating pagtitiwala sa institusyon na ito ng Diyos, na ito ay mabisa kung sinusundan yung kanyang disenyo ayon sa kanyang salita. Kaya si Lawrence at saka si Jackie, they are entering this sacred vow of marriage, and therefore, ang hamon sa inyo is to no longer view it as something that is a personal matter. It is a sphere of good works. It is a sphere of testimony to a world that has become skeptic about this institution. In light of the moral atmosphere of our day, you are entering a work that can influence society for good. And even more than that, you will be presenting a lovely picture to the watching world of the love of Christ to the church. At yan yung pinakamalalim ng nakahulugan ng pag-aasawa. And my prayer is that your union would help our skeptical society to believe in marriage again. Magtiwala muli sa pag-aasawa ayon sa disenyo ng Panginoon rather than giving up on it. Now, you already had a session of premarital counseling, but allow me for one more reminder for this special day, and I will take it from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, a familiar passage. We will be reading verses 1 to 8. 1 Corinthians 13, verses 1 to 8. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. Ito po ang salita ng Panginoon. This is a beautiful passage, and I believe that many of you are familiar with it. Tinatawag ito ng marami na awit ng pag-ibig or hymn of love. Not that it is actually a hymn, but it could be. Maganda ang pagkakasulat ng bahagi na ito ng Biblia. And actually, it has become a passage that is a staple reading sa mga kasalan. Palagi siyang binabasa. And I believe that that is understandable because we have here some of the best descriptions of what love can be. Ano ba yung itsura ng pag-ibig ayon sa disenyo ng Panginoon. But just to inform you, si Apostol Pablo, hindi niya ito isinulat talaga sa konteksto ng relasyong pag-aasawa. He did not actually write it for the specific context of the marital relationship. In fact, it is found in the instruction of the Apostle Paul to the Corinthian Christians on how to use their God-given skills in order to serve the building up of the church, which is the body of Christ. Therefore, it is ecclesiastical rather than marital in its context. Ang gustong gawin dito ni Apostol Pablo, yung kanyang burden, ay ipakita sa mga mananampalataya dito sa simbahan ng Corinto na ang dapat nilang i-prioritize sa kanilang buhay Kristiyano at buhay iglesia ay yung pagpapalago ng kanilang pag-ibig, that they must cultivate love over the possession of spectacular spiritual gifts, although those things are good too. Mayroong mga bagay na kakayahan na ibinibigay ang Diyos na makatutulong sa iglesia at magandang hangarin iyon. Pero sinasabi ni Apostol Pablo, it is even better for the Corinthian believers to grow in love rather than to be obsessed about having the best and the most spectacular of spiritual gifts. Makikita yung katotohanan na yan sa chapter 12 sa dulo. Immediately preceding what we have read, sinabi doon, but earnestly desire the higher gifts, and I will show you a still more excellent way. So sinasabi niya na magandang hangarin yung mga kaloob, but there is a more excellent way. Merong kapamaraanan na mas mahusay, mas dapat hangarin, and that leads us to this chapter, which is the chapter about love. Meaning this should be the priority. This should be the aspiration. We should be looking towards the nobility of love rather than these spectacular spiritual gifts. But because the description of love in this passage is so universal, pwede nating sabihin na ang banal na Espiritu ay nagbigay ng chapter na ito sa atin sa Biblia, kung saan makakatagpo tayo ng mga descriptions ng pag-ibig wherever it is found. Sa church man yan, sa pamilya, sa kapwa, at lalong-lalo na sa relasyong mag-asawa. So that means this passage is so universal, it gives us a universal picture of what love is, that we can apply it to wherever love is required. So considering this occasion, pagbubulay-bulayan natin yung chapter na ito as it bears on the context of the marital relationship. At ang gusto kong kuhain na mensahe dito at ipahayag una kay Lawrence at kay Jackie at sumunod sa mga mag-asawa dito at mga naghahangad din na mag-asawa, let Christian love be the driving motive in everything that you do for each other. In its essence, this is what you are promising to each other. Sa inyong mga bibitawan at tipan, these are vows of covenant love within the context of the marital relationship. And you will do well in your lifetime of marriage if you visit these verses together from time to time. And it teaches us two things. What reflections from this passage can help us pursue a lifetime of love for each other? Well, two things. First, we find in here the value of Christian love. And second, the virtues of Christian love. Yung una, yung halaga ng Kristiyanong pag-ibig at bakit ito dapat hangarin sa pag-aasawa. Ayan yung mababasa natin from verses 1 to 3 of the chapter that we have read, Paul emphatically declares the utter worthlessness of spiritual giftedness, even even sacrificial religious service, if they are done without love. So kung walang pag-ibig, kahit gaano ka kahusay sa mga espiritual na kaloob, o kahit gaano ka kasipag sa paglilingkod, sinasabi ni Apostol Pablo, walang halaga. It is worth nothing. Love's presence is actually what gives value to what we contribute to our communities, and especially the community of a husband and wife. Ayan yung makikita natin doon sa talata, verse 1, if I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. Ibig sabihin, kung walang pag-ibig, even the most eloquent of speeches are but loud noises. Ingay lang. And then verse 2, sabi dyan, and if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. So meaning, even the deepest spiritual comprehension are useless kung walang pag-ibig. And verse 3, sabi dyan, if I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned but have not love, I gain nothing. So without love, even the most intense acts of piety are worthless, unprofitable. And so by way of intentional exaggeration, the Apostle Paul is communicating that lack of love renders one's service worthless. Nawawalan ng halaga yung ating ginagawa kung ginagawa natin yung isang bagay na walang pag-ibig. So ibig sabihin, ang maaari nating kuhain dito na aral para sa pag-aasawa is that the true quality of a married life rests on the exercise of Christian love. Christian love for each other. Dito, kung titignan ninyo yung konteksto ng kung bakit ito sinulat ni Apostol Pablo, you find here the error of the Corinthian believers, that they were measuring the value of their spiritual gifts by their spectacular appearance. Mas gusto nila na meron silang kakayahang maghimala at yung mga tao ay mamamangha kapag nakita yung kanilang kakayahan na iba't ibang kababalaghan yung kaya nilang gawin. They were seeking after the louder and more competitive gifts, especially in this context, the ability to speak in tongues, speak in other language that is not their own. At dito makikita, sinasabi dito ni Apostol Pablo na these are all useless without love, because even the miraculous is inferior to the more excellent way. Kahit yung kakayahan na maghimala, ito ay nasa ilalim ng mas mataas na kapamaraanan, at yan yung kapamaraanan ng pag-ibig. It is what gives value to one's service. And as it is in the church, so is it in marriage. You see, mayroong tukso sa mga mag-asawa to use false standards to assess the quality of a married life. Maganda ba yung pagsasama nila bilang mag-asawa? Siguro kasi they have substantial savings. Malaki yung pera nila sa bank account. O kaya tignan mo naman yung they have a very nice home and some beautiful sets of furniture. Siguro talagang okay sila. Or pag tinignan mo yung Instagram nila, look at the places they travel together. Nakakarating sila kung saan-saan. So they must be doing very well. And you know, in this age of social media, the sin of envy becomes the vice of the masses. Yan na ang bisyo, madaling mainggit sa kung ano yung nakikita natin sa kung ano yung nasa social media, but we see curated selections from other people's or other couples' lives, which may make us feel perhaps we're not doing well. But those are false measures. The right measure is love, because all the other things, if are worthless if love is absent. And all the other things are multiplied when love abounds in a marital life. Siguro narinig nyo na yung kasabihan na keeping up with the Joneses. Ang ibig sabihin nun, kapag ka yung merong mag-asawa na sinasabayan nila yung ibang mag-asawa, hahabulin nila, may bago silang TV, kailangan bumili, yung TV nila ay 55-inch, kailangan makabili tayo ng 65. So ganoon yung keeping up with the Joneses. Galing pala yun sa isang 1913 comic strips kung saan merong series na it is about a fictional family. Ang pangalan nila ay McGuinness, and they were competing with the Joneses. But what is remarkable in that comic strips, yung Joneses, they never appeared in the whole duration of that series. Ibig sabihin that the Joneses were never featured in these comics. We know nothing about them. Only the McGuinnesses, and it shows the foolishness of competing with those marriages of which we know nothing about, really, about the internal quality. And so the challenge for Lawrence and Jackie is to make Christian love as the distinguishing mark of the quality of your marriage. Reject all the other standards. This is the most important standard. Love. Love should be the motivation of all that you do for each other, and love should be the measure of your continuing growth. And you see, in the Bible, as Pastor Jude read to us earlier, itong hamon na umibig is given with greater stress to the man. Ephesians 5 verse 25, husbands, love your wives. Ang lalaki ay dapat umibig sa kanyang asawang babae. And it is because even from the very beginning, man is the initiator in the marital relationship. Genesis 2, a man shall leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife. So you initiate. While love is not given to be reciprocated, when man loves the wife, love is so potent a force that it summons love back. Kaya ang lalaki ang tinatawag na umibig. And perhaps to add, love comes more naturally to women. Mas madaling umibig base sa sa constitution ng Diyos sa babae, madali silang umibig, but the challenge to the woman is to purify her love by the standard of the Word of God. That is why it is necessary sa inyo na magiging mag-asawa, that you regularly return, daily return in fact, to the place where you can learn true love. And it is not from each other. It is actually at the cross of Jesus Christ. Sa krus ng Kalbaryo, doon ipinakita ng Panginoong Jesus ang tunay na pag-ibig na handang isakripisyo ang sariling kapakanan para sa ikabubuti ng iniibig. We love because He first loved us. 1 John 4 verse 19. And therefore, since it is from this place that you first learned true love, you visit regularly, so that it becomes the standard by which you love each other. Siguro meron pong iba dito na you need to know the love of God for the first time. What we have in this ceremony of marriage is not the highest form of love. I'm convinced that Lawrence and Jackie love each other very much. But this is not the picture or the highest picture of love. Ang tunay na pag-ibig na walang makakahigit, sinabi ng Panginoong Jesus, ay yung isang kaibigan na inialay niya ang kanyang buhay para sa kanyang mga kaibigan. John 15 verse 13. You see, there is a love, if you do not know it yet, there is a love that can look at you at all the ugliness of your sins and yet still take you as a beloved. Have you known that love, my friends? If not, I invite you to come at the foot of the cross and trust in Jesus Christ. Embrace His forgiveness. Recognize Him as Savior. and you would know the highest form of love. Noong 1977, yung NASA, I just read this somewhere, nag-launch daw sila ng spacecraft that contains articles of human life. Ang idea nila, gusto nila na nung sinut nila yon sa space, pag daw merong nakakita na extraterrestrial creatures, malalaman nila kung ano ba yung mga snapshot ng buhay ng tao. So what is humanity like? And they placed artifacts sa loob ng spacecraft na yon at kanilang ipinadala sa space. And involved sa project na yon ay si Andrew Yan at saka si Carl Sagan. And during that time, Andrew Yan was falling in love with this man, si Carl Sagan, na bahagi din ng project na yon. And that time, yung kanyang brain impulses ay dinala sa record. Sinama doon sa mga record ng ipinadala doon sa space. And they did not know it at that time na siya ay falling in love with Carl Sagan. But if ever there are aliens, one of the first things that they would know about mankind is love. The impulses of a brain that is falling in love. Well, you are surrounded by many aliens to the love of Christ. Sana yung inyong pag-aasawa ay magtuturo sa kanila sa pag-ibig sa Panginoong Hesukristo. So that is the first. We see in here the value of Christian love. Second, makikita natin dito yung virtues of Christian love. And you find that in verses 4 to 8, where the Apostle Paul personifies the grace of love in order to enumerate the virtues that are included in its practice. Ano bang itsura ng pag-ibig? Well, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast, etc. And by this personification, the Apostle Paul is making a catalog of the qualities of how love is expressed towards the beloved. And you see, there are many ways to tie all these virtues together. Paano mo isa-summarize yung mga virtues na yan? The total picture suggests that it is about Christ Himself. Christ is patient and kind. Christ does not envy or boast. Christ is not arrogant or rude. Christ does not insist on His own way. Christ is not irritable or resentful. So meaning, it is a picture of the character of Christ Himself. And that means to love is to become Christ-like. Another principle of summary na pwedeng gamitin dito, ito yung mga virtues that are consistent with the law. Love is the fulfilling of the law, Paul says in Romans 13 verse 10. And Galatians 5 verse 22, these are the fruits of the Spirit that against which no law is given. But for the purposes of the Apostle Paul, pwede nating isummarize ito na virtues which build up. Ibig sabihin, mga katangian na nagpapalakas doon sa taong iniibig, tumutulong, those virtues that promote the growth and the flourishing of the other person. It doesn't focus on oneself, it focuses on the other so that that other may be built up and that he or she would flourish as a person. Makikita yan sa 1 Corinthians 8 verse 1, same book here in the scriptures. Sinabi ni Apostle Paul, knowledge puffs up but love builds up. It is the character of love to build up the beloved. And then sinabi sa sumunod na chapter 14 verse 12 that we should strive to excel in building up. So pwede natin kuhain dito yung aral na the aim of Christian love in marriage is the building up of each other towards Christ-like godliness. So that means the married couple must take the goal of promoting the flourishing of the other person, so that he or she would become the person that God desires them to be. Kaya kahit na magkaiba yung roles ng pag-aasawa, which is yun yung napagkwentuhan natin when we had the session, magkaiba yung roles ng mag-asawa. It is the man who leads and the woman submits, but the aim is the same. The aim is so that the other would be built up and that the other would grow and the other would flourish. Kaya yung lalaki kailangan maunawaan at maalala palagi na yung kanyang leadership na ibinigay sa kanya ng Panginoon sa pag-aasawa, it is not given to suppress the wife. It is not given to dominate the wife so that she does what I tell her to do. So hindi yun yung tamang pananaw sa pangunguna ng pag-asawa. It is given to the man to lead or in order to serve the flourishing of the wife so that she would flourish in godliness and into the person that God desires her to be. And the same is true for the woman. When the woman submits and respects her man, hindi iyon para i-indulge yung ego ng lalaki. Para feel niya talaga that I am the man of the house. It is given so that the husband would mature in a godly way, so that he would become the man that God desires him to be. And it is when the parties of marriage fail in love that they produce the opposite of building up. And what is the opposite of building up? It is destruction. In fact, that is what is happening in the Corinthian church. Marami sa kanilang mga problema dito, kung pag-aaralan ninyo itong sulat na ito ni Apostol Pablo, they were occasioned by failure in love. Their divisiveness is due to envy and arrogance dahil nagkokompetensya sila sa isa't isa, but love does not envy and love is not arrogant. And then they were tolerating an impenitent sinner in 1 Corinthians 5, and it is a failure to love because love does not rejoice in wrongdoing. And then they enter into lawsuits against each other kahit na magkakapatid sila sa Panginoon. And it is because they are failing to be patient with one another. And I think the practice of love solves many church problems. And that is certainly true also in marriage. The true practice of love can solve many marital problems. And therefore, the challenge is to improve in these virtues of character that exhibit what love truly is. Kaya yung marriage workshop talaga yan. The man works and the woman shops. It is a workshop of character, meaning it is a lifetime enrollment to an institution that can shape you to become the best man or woman that you could be. And therefore, do not just profess Christian love. You need to practice Christian love. And I think there is a wisdom here in the Apostle Paul's personification of love in this passage. He is putting the abstract concepts of love into a picture of concrete actions. Kaya pwede ninyong gawin sa passage na ito, to test if you are loving, is to replace the name love, the word love with your name. Is Lawrence patient and kind? Jackie does not envy or boast. Lawrence is not arrogant or rude. That is the concrete picture of love. That is why we have reminders in the scriptures to love not only in word or speech, but in action and truth. Love is not just action, but it is not less than action. And therefore, if you are to make progress in love, then act lovingly. Don't just feel it. You act it out. You develop concrete habits of love, which when God reinforced by grace, they become these virtues of love. A habit, a simple habit to listen first, or to be sensitive, or to be patient. Well, that is how love is shown. Sabi nga ni C.S. Lewis, alam ko na paborito mo ito, when you are behaving as if you loved someone, you will presently come to love him. So the actions of love creates the virtue and the excellence of love. And siguro mahalaga yon, of course, ngayon bilang ikakasal ay you really feel that you love each other strongly. But there will be times in marriage that you won't feel the same way, as loving as you do today. But it doesn't matter. You act lovingly even if you don't feel it. Because love, although it is not less than feeling, but it is much more than just feeling. So Lawrence and Jackie, may your marriage thrive in love. And that is my prayer and my exhortation to the both of you. Kapag pinag-uusapan yung pag-ibig, we often think of love and we often describe love as seated in the heart. Diba, nararamdaman sa puso. Medyo kakaiba kasi ang ginagawa lang ng puso ay nagpa-pump ng blood. So what does it have to do about love? Well, I think yung metaphor is actually appropriate. Because a heart beats unceasingly. It pumps and it pumps and it pumps in a continuous flow of giving and receiving and giving and receiving until it stops. And that is the call for the both of you. And may you experience this life of giving and receiving and giving and receiving from each other in a continuous flow of love until your heart beats its last. May God bless your union.